Okay, so just E tuning here, E standard, E, A, D, G, B, E. And for this intro section, and this also kind of happens like around the bridge, like just after the bridge, I think, we're just hitting some E octaves, and we have a flanger effect over the top of it. And I've got a rate of, I don't know, my scale, it's from like 1 to 100. The rate I have is about 14, like a 50 depth. I don't know, flangers all change. So for me, okay, just that type of vibe, slow, kind of sweeping, you know. And like I said, we're just hitting E octaves, so we're doing like an open low E and like the 7 on the A, and we're just strumming right on beat with it. Okay, so that's all there is to that. And once we get into the main riff, there's this real quick palm muting, alternating picking thing going on here. So we'll start by just hitting a full E power chord. So we're going to hit the open low E, the 2 A and D. And you really want to emphasize the 2 and 2 on the A and D there. All right. And then we're going to do a real quick palm muted, couple open E's, 3, couple opens, and then unmuted E power chord again. So we went. Okay, and it's just a matter of getting it up to tempo there. All right, and after that, we just do a real quick 3 palm muted, couple opens, 3 opens. So it'll be a. So just slowly the whole riff. And then after you go through that 3 times, we kind of do like the first half of it and then just stop. So we do the chord, open, 3 open, chord, stop. All right, and then we get like the vocal samples and all that jazz. And this also matters towards the end of the song where we do this riff again, but instead of just cutting there, we throw in that B flat power chord, the 1A, 3 on the D and G there. Okay, kind of hits with the vocal right there. So same deal at the end there, just throwing in that power chord. And the verse, we don't really do the rests. So instead of doing the rests, we just continue on by doing a 3 open, 3 3. So it'd be. Okay, we just add a couple 3s at the end of it, and then just cycle it over during the verse. And I guess you would call this the chorus. So just a couple of chord hits. So an E chord hit, kind of a mid voice. So we do the 7A, 9 on the D and G, just. Then we do a bend, 7G with the 5 B under it. You can even throw in the open high E, just get that extra octave in there. All right. Okay, we kind of bend it to the top, give it a little vibrato and release. All right. Then we come on up and we want to hit like this, I think it's like a E7 flat 9 or something like that. Kind of Jimi Hendrix chord. You could do it here with the 7A, 6D, 7G, 8. You could do it there. I kind of like to just bring it up to this voicing because we're going to do a bend that's up here also. So, and it's a little bit easier. You don't need the pinky for this voicing. So we do the 12 E, 11 A, 12 on the D and G, and it's just a couple hits. All right, and then we just bend the 15 on the B with the 12 on the E. Same kind of feel there. All right, and now we drop down to just an open low E power chord, a couple hits, and then back to that 7 bend with the 5 in the open there. All right, come on up, hit our E7 vibe here, the 12, 11, 12s. But at the end of the second time we get to that chord, we don't really do a bend. We just kind of like slide it out and then maybe slide the 2s from the E power chord up. And then get back into like the main riff or whatever the part's next. So skipping ahead to now the bridge transition, I would say. So a lot of different riffs packed into this. So this is, now we're doing a little interlude, I guess. So F sharp power chord at the 2E, 4A. Zoom on up to the A at the 5 and 7. Coming off to a few open quick E power chords. And then hit it once more, drop down, hit a B power chord at the 2A, 4 on the D and G. Hit that, and then just kind of a real subtle little like off to an open A. It's real subtle. Alright, you almost don't even need to strum it. It just kind of happens when you lift off. Then we go back to the F sharp at the 2E, 4A there. Hit that a couple times, up to the A at the 5 and 7. Alright, and this is kind of the end of the first run through, where we'll do a C to B power chord. So 3A, 5 on the D and G. Hit that, hold it a moment, drop down a fret to the 2 and 4s for the B. Hit that. Alright, and now we kind of start the whole thing over, where we do our F sharps to A to open E's there. The B to subtle little open A there. Alright, and then the ending of the second time through, we hit a couple of those F sharps at the 2 and 4. And then we just do some muted strings like 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, and then we do G power chord 3E, 5A down to the F at the 1E, 3A. And that leads us into our kind of Thunder Kiss sounding riff. So it's like second fret here on the E, and it's palm muted, and we're just alternate picking 1, 2, 3, bum, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's kind of a real distinct pattern. Okay. And we just cycle that thing out about 3 times, and then we cap it off. This is kind of the ending of the first run through and the ending of the last time we do it. Okay, so what we do is just hit a couple of those 2s, lift off to the open E power chord. All right, drop to the B flat power chord at the 1A, 3 on the D and G. Back to the E power chord, A power chord, to the G at the 3 and 5s. All right, and like I said, that's kind of the ending of the first run through and the last run through of that riff. But every other time, like once the vocals are in with it, we're doing that same palm muted 2s. Okay, so repeat that a few times, and then we kind of do maybe about half of it or 3/4 of it. The 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 1. All right, and then we just do this G power chord, the 3 and 5, to the F power chord at the 1 and 3. All right, and that goes through that a handful of times. And like I said, it'll revert to the first ending that we did at the end there. And then once we get to like that final verse, there's just that little catch where I said, okay, we hit up that B flat power chord during that section. And then there's the kind of a power chord interlude, kind of lead up into Psychoholic Slag, where it's open E power chord, G power chord at the 3 and 5s, G sharp at the 4 and 6s, and then we do a chromatic, or close to chromatic, G at the 3 and 5s, 5 and 7s to 6 and 8s.